All right, if you just joined us, it's still Journalist Hangout. I still have Paul Dada right here with us. And we also have BKO joining us from our Abuja studios. So straight to our next conversation. Following the arrival of a contingent of United States troops in Nigeria, speculations are rife about the purpose of their presence. In response, Defense Headquarters has clarified the situation. According to the Director of Defense Information, Brigadier General Samaila Uba, Nigeria and the United States share a long-standing and well-structured security partnership based on mutual respect. Brigadier General Uba said the coming of the troops is guided by national interest, measurable outcomes, and the protection of Nigeria's sovereignty. He explained that the cooperation focuses on capacity building, professional military training, intelligence sharing, logistics support and strategic dialogue, all aimed at combating common threats such as terrorism and transnational organized crime. Now let's share the story on the issue by TVC News' Sifan Essien with you.
Military cooperation between the United States and Nigeria centered around ramping up counter-terrorism efforts in West Africa for more than a decade. The partnership has focused on training, intelligence sharing, and building Nigeria's capacity to confront extremist groups operating in the region. But under President Trump, developments have assumed new dimensions, introducing sharper rhetoric and a renewed emphasis on accountability, sovereignty, and religious freedom. U.S. officials have pressed the Nigerian government to ensure transparency in its military operations while stressing the importance of respecting human rights in counter-terrorism campaigns. Forums like this in Abuja have provided platforms for both countries to strengthen collaboration while exploring new vistas of military cooperation.
These engagements have moved decisively beyond dialogue to action. They have supported improved target identification and operational fidelity, strengthened joint planning, and enabled more effective disruption of terrorist networks and transnational criminal elements.
Advancing religious freedom and security will help the United States and Nigeria to enhance the reciprocal benefits of our relationship, solidifying trade and economic deals, degrading terrorist groups that threaten our interests, and strengthening health responses, among many other areas.
Reacting to reports of U.S. deployment of a team to Nigeria, the Defense Headquarters says, quote, engagements with international partners are guided strictly by national interest, measurable outcomes, and the protection of Nigeria's sovereignty. It adds that, quote, defense partnerships are transparent, policy-driven, and aligned with constitutional provisions.
This is how the Defense Headquarters now come out and clarify. They say they are not on ground operation or combatant forces, but they are on this what I have earlier mentioned, on these missions. So with what is happening in Nigeria, the issue of the security situation is highly alarming.
While the Nigerian government is leveraging the benefits of the partnership with the U.S., there are also concerns of drawbacks.
It has some merit and demerit. You understand, there's a lot of negative and positive comments. But let us take the more advantageous side of it.
As Nigeria and the United States continue to refine their military partnership, the challenge remains striking a balance between external support and internal control. For Nigeria, sovereignty is non-negotiable. For the U.S., accountability and human rights are central. What is clear is that both countries see cooperation as vital in the fight against terrorism. Sifan Essien, TVC News, Abuja.
All right, thank you so much, Sifan Essien, for that report. I mean, Paul Dada, what's your assessment of the Defense Headquarters explanation on concerning the presence of U.S. troops in Niger?
Well, I think I'm satisfied with the explanation of the DHQ. You know, an alarm was raised, I think it's well on social media, U.S. troops had coming to Nigeria. In fact, there's this popular person that does podcasting, and a lot of people, he was like, US troops have come to Nigeria. How many more people are we going to kill? No, but I'm very satisfied with this explanation. You know, we have always been saying it. I know that I normally say it, that we cannot be doing the same thing the same way and expect a different result. I keep saying that. Now, this is another level of efforts to tackle insecurity in Nigeria. And it's been explained, there are no combat troops. Of what the US troops are here for is to provide intelligence sharing, some education, logistics, support, training, and all of this. Hopefully this will help to will position Nigeria in a better place to deal with this recurrent issue. I think I'm satisfied with it. Let us believe what the DHQ has said. And I'm not even surprised because previously we've been seeing, prior to this time, been seeing levels of engagement since Trump made that statement. There was not, he didn't call Nigeria country of particular concern, disgraced country. But the narrative has shifted from that. There have been lots of engagements between Nigeria, top-level engagement between Nigeria and the US. So all what we are seeing now are consequences of the resolutions that were taken at those engagements. So let me just encourage Nigerians that, look, we should not always be happy to say bad things. I mean, if there are little gains, let us acknowledge them. We know it is not
That's very true.
It is not yet uhuru. But there are people in this country who just enjoy talking bad about it. We know that things are not the way they should be. But there's a difference between criticizing and hating your country. Now, when you see efforts that are geared towards changing the situation, if you see small achievements, acknowledge them, and then encourage, hope for more.
I mean, BK, looking at this matter, Paul Dada said he's satisfied with this explanation, but how do you weigh in here?
I see a lot of people doing so much scaremongering, talking about things that they have little knowledge of. I saw a man who once headed one of our health agencies saying that Sokoto State should not have been targeted if we actually wanted to kill terrorists and bandits. That fellow is either being mischievous or thoroughly ignorant, because Sokoto State is one of the states with the worst cases of banditry in our country. Yes. No less than 8-9 local governments in Sokoto State are infested by bandits. States like Tureta, Sabombrini, Isa. These are states where bandits are running riot. Even the notorious bandit Bello Tuji has some cells in Sokoto State. So how can anyone say no? Rabah, the local government of the late Sardauna of Sokoto, Rabah, bandits are terrorizing them in that area. And somebody who's supposed to be a northern leader will come out and say, oh, bandits should not have been targeted, that Sokoto is not a place where bandits are present. Okay. Kayama in Kwara State, where the terrorists just murdered innocent people because they refused to embrace their brand of Islam. They killed more than 160 Muslims. Were we reading before now that the US had launched an attack in Kayama? You would say they went to a place where you don't have terrorists. Sokoto indigenes who are listening to me, they know that I'm saying the truth. We are still going to do a much bigger story, a much bigger discussion on the effects of banditry in Sokoto State, because that was the place where even a district head was killed. So these people who go on TV, they imagine that we do not even have even little knowledge, or that our memory is so short, like their own. So what is happening is according to President Trump, Nigeria asks for help. And we've had people like former President Obasanjo just say, look, if we need to ask for help, we must ask for help. Now, what is wrong in asking for help?
Exactly.
They are now making it look like, United States has poured troops into Nigeria. When you talk about boots on ground, let us educate the ignorant who are doing podcasts saying things that they do not know. Boots on ground does not mean about 10 soldiers who have come. They donated weapons to us the other day. Boots on ground does not mean just about 5-10 soldiers who have come to teach you a few things about the weapons that they have made available to you. Late in January, Lieutenant General John Brennan, who is the deputy commander of the U.S. Africa Command, came to Nigeria as a testament to the deepening of collaboration between our countries. And what he said was that they've come to help us combat Islamic State and jihadi elements who are in our country. He says we are continuing to provide them intelligence support, airborne, ISR, that's intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance support. They have a terrorism problem, so we are trying to help create effects that will stop them and their borders from being infiltrated by terrorists. So the coordinated efforts will help with the Americans, will help us improve security. Okay. And the Americans did not start coming to Nigeria in that way today. For years, they've been coming, helping to train troops, helping to provide intelligence, and even make weapons available to us. No matter the level of support, they've always come here. And their goal at this time is to deter violence against Christian communities, prioritizing counterterrorism and insecurity, investigating attacks, holding perpetrators accountable, and reducing the number of killings and forced displacements and abductions. The two countries are working together now. America has not poured troops into our country. If somebody sends about 10 troops to come and work with us, to help us understand and strengthen our hand in areas where we've been weak over the years. Everybody says, oh, intelligence, we are not good in the area of intelligence. Everyone knows that America and Israel, they are very good in intelligence gathering. So if we enlist their support and they are giving us that support, it is only the enemies of the Nigerian state who want the insecurity that is pervasive in our country to continue, that will keep shouting and doing some podcasts that they are boots on ground. If they are boots on ground, how come you've not seen those Americans? How many of those Americans have you seen? How many of the pictures have you taken?
All right.
Just 10 people coming around to teach our people how to do things. You are saying there's boots on ground. There should be a limit to mischief.
Absolutely.
The two countries are working together and we should be happy.
Exactly. All right, gentlemen, let's move straight to our final conversation.